Hey everyone, it's Patty from pspapercrafts, and today we're going to make another fun fold. So this is my inspiration calendar, which you can get if you subscribe to my email list. And it is, where are we? February 9th, Friday, and we're making a slide and lock fun fold card. So I make some of the cards on Fridays on my calendar. I usually have a fun fold or technique or something like that. We do sketches on Saturdays. I do a color combo on Thursdays, and then the rest of the month is, you know, kind of open. So today's card is so pretty. It's sending lots of love and hugs, and this slides off, and then you can open it up. So it is a little bit tricky to get on. There's a little like mechanism in the back, and we're going to learn how to make it. So you just have to kind of have patience putting it on, but taking it off is a breeze. Of course, I'm going to have a hard time here on camera. So it just kind of slides up and down. So for this card, I use the heartfelt hexagon. So I'm using the sending you lots of love, and I have this border, and I punched it with the it's a coordinating hexagon punch. And then the paper, I just love this paper. It's so pretty. This is the Poetic Expressions, I got it right, designer series paper. And it just has really beautiful patterns. So I thought I would use, I just love this little bit of bubble bath, the pink in it. And then this is wild wheat. So this is the card that I have kind of to show you. And then we're going to make a completely different card. That's what I usually do. So we are going to use the paper. I'm going to make a guy card, a masculine card, or this could be for a girl. It's rock and roll, the paper. It's all black and white. And we're going to use the rock star stamp set and the dies. So I've already cut some of it. So let me just show you what I have. And don't worry about paying attention to and writing down all the dimensions and measurements and all of that, because I'll have a project sheet. Below this YouTube video, there's a description and there's links to my blog. There's a link to the project sheet, to my online store if you wanted to purchase any of these. So just go down there. You could click on the link and get this. So I've already pre-cut. I wasn't sure exactly what this was when I first opened it up. I see there's a small pick, and I was like, well, what is this for? And I thought maybe it went with something, but I think it's just a large pick. So I cut that from the designer series paper. It's the other side of this, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then I have my papers cut. This is my mechanism, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. And then we have a basic black card base. So I love to make a black and white card, and so I'm always happy when I see Stampin' Up! Come out with a pattern paper that has either all black and white or, you know, a variation of that and some others. So let's get our trimmer out. This is a half a piece of 8.5 by 11. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. And we are going to score it in two places. So we're going to score both ends the same. So we're going to come out to 2 1/8. So that's the line between the 2 and the 1/4. And we're just going to score this. And then we're going to flip it around and we're going to score the same thing. 2 1/8. Oh, I cut. Oh, let me get another one. Okay, sorry about that. I used my cutting blade instead of my scoring blade. Not good. So we're going to come back and do this again. I will save this and I'll use it for something. You always need scraps, right? So we're going to come back and do 2 1/8 and make sure we're using the scoring blade. And then we're going to cut it, turn it around and do again 2 1/8 scoring. Do you ever do that? Use the wrong blade? It's okay if you use the scoring blade when you're supposed to cut, because you can go back and cut, but you can't go the other way. So now we'll just take this and we'll burnish it with our bone folder. And this, you'll see, it's kind of a gatefold. Okay, so now we have our gatefold part, and then we have our pieces that we're going to adhere. And you know, this paper, let me just show you this paper. It really has a lot of different patterns that you can use. I wanted to have something with a lot of white against the black. If you had something dark, it kind of might get lost, but you could also do a layer of white. This would be cool. This is a lot of white. So these are your choices. And I just think it's a great pack of paper to make masculine cards. You know, we don't have a lot of masculine papers. It's always flowery, which is my thing, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to get my liquid glue out. You can use whatever adhesive you want, and you could do this too if you wanted that look this way or this way. So whatever you like better if you're using this paper. Or you can use any paper like my other card. So, you know, just look at your pattern papers, see what you like, and play around with it. And I like to just kind of open it up when I'm laying down my layers. And we just want to have it centered. And then we'll do this one. And you want to make sure that these are kind of lined up, so when it folds, the tops are about the same and the bottoms. So just try to eyeball it and make sure they look pretty even. So when we close it, right, that's pretty cool. And then I want to make the slider. So the slider, typically people make you know, a bigger slider. These are kind of small sliders, but I wanted to use this and I wanted to use this, so I adjusted it. Usually you have two squares that are 2 by 2 of your coordinating cardstock and two that are white 2 by 2. And you'll see why we need, you know, 4 sets. But I cut mine down. So these are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. On this one, since this is long, I have, what is it? Let me look. This is 1 3/4 by 1 1/4. Okay, so you just want all 4 pieces to be the same, and you want it hidden behind whatever your slider is going to be. Okay, so you can adjust it, just make them the same size. And what I did for both of these cards was I cut my piece and I laid it back here to make sure it fit. And I want this kind of at an angle. So I wanted to make sure that it fit behind here, and I'm going to have it go like this. Okay, so just measure and cut down until you have a piece that is hidden behind your slider piece. So now we're going to take these, and I just fold them in half. You can measure it and score it. Oh boy. It's amazing how things work so well when you're not on camera. And then when you're on camera, not so much. So I'm just going to score this, or burnish this. And if it was an even amount, like if this was 2 by 2, you just score it at 1. But I don't want to figure out the mouth for 1 3/4. So if you do, you go for it. All right, so we're just going to do this and fold it. So this is your mechanism for your slider. Okay, and we're just going to attach these. So we want the opening on both sides and attach it here. And you want a strong adhesive. I used the liquid glue. You just have to make sure it dries well and sets well. And we're just going to adhere this all the way, edge to edge, top to bottom, both sides, so that the opening, so now you can see what we're making. We're making the slider mechanism. Okay. And then we're just going to glue this on the top. So use like tear and tape or Seal Plus or a liquid glue. And we're just going to plop this right on top. That's a technical term, plop. And we just want to make sure that it's nice and burnished and glued down good. Okay, so this is going to, and you know, by the way, I know that this has been made by many people, but I watched Wendy Cranford, she's my upline, make it. And she felt that once you have your slider and you put it on, that you should then burnish everything before you put the top piece on. So just slide this down. Easier said than done. Come on. There we go. Slide this down, and then you want to just pull out before you have your top piece on. And just make sure everything is nice and folded, crisp folds. Okay, so now we want this to go on this. And again, I said I wanted it at an angle. And I didn't put. I was looking to see if I put dimensionals, but I didn't. I don't think you need it. So now I'm just going to lay this here. I'm going to put some glue on the top of this while it's in place, and then get my idea of the angle I wanted it. So I want to make sure it's all covered though. I don't want any pieces hanging out. Okay, so that is our slider. I just don't want to, I want it to dry first. Okay, so let's pull it up. I don't want it to, let's leave it for a minute. All right, just to let it dry. I don't want to pull on it. In the meantime, let's do our sentiment. I'm doing it, You're a Rock Star, and I'll do that in the black Memento ink. And then we're going to die cut it and stick it on there. So it's pretty easy, you know, once you understand how the mechanism works. Let me just get a piece of scrap. When I do a black kind of this thickness, I want to make sure it's nice and solid here. Yeah, let's get some more. I want to ink it up good. Okay. So let's put it, I'm going to put it this way because I'm not sure how big the, and I think it's supposed to be a little bit kind of light and dark. I want to make sure I have enough room with the die, although I think the die goes right around it. So let's get the die out. It's nice that there's a die for this. And there's all these like lightning bolts and stars, so you could really decorate this fun if you want. And then this is a drumstick. You could stamp and cut the guitar. There's a microphone. So there's a really, thanks for being an icon, have a rock and roll birthday. So it's a fun set. So let's get this. I want to make sure I have it the right way. That was the right way. Make sure I'm in camera here, and I am going to just put some pieces, I have them right here. I just reuse these over and over again. It's Post-it tape. Let's get rid of these guys, and I'll get my my stamp and cut and emboss machine out. I always think that's such a mouthful. And we'll put this down and run it through. I finally changed my plates. My plate was getting pretty bad. Okay. Let's take this off, put this away. So I just save these until they're no good anymore. All right, so let's put this over here and get our card back. So now we're going to put this right here, and then we'll put some bling on it. So let's see if I can pull this up now. I didn't want to pull it up and pull it off because I had just glued it. So here we go. And let's put this down. I think I'm leaving everything flat because there is some bulk to the card as it is. So I'm going to actually put it on so I have it on the card before I figure out how I want to lay this. Okay, because it's crooked, I want to make sure that this is placed correctly. So let's put some glue on this. And you just need a little bit of glue. I try not to go too heavy. So you're a rock star. And then I want to put some, I have these, what are they called? The sparkle gems, adhesive back sparkle gems. And I use these quite a bit. So you could use the black, or there's gold and there's clear or white. So I'm going to use the black, and I'm going to put one, oh, it fell off. Whoops. Let's see. There we go. Right there. And let's put a couple more here and there. I have to get my this thing fixed here. It's getting all, this is, okay. And maybe I'll just leave it like that. No, I think maybe I'll put some little ones down. And we'll put one more big one. This is what I have such a hard time with. No, I'm leaving it. Leave it as it is. All right. So now we have this done. We're going to do an inside layer. Let me get one of those. And I thought I would just put a piece, could put either way. Maybe I'll put it this way. And then I'm going to do the have a rock and roll birthday. And again, I think I want to just stamp it a little bit to make sure I've got a nice solid inked up stamp. So if you see it, there's white in it. It's kind of, trying to think of the word, like grunge, like a grunge look. So it's not supposed to be super, super dark. It's solid. Trying to get that straight. Have a rock and roll birthday. And I think I'm going to give this to my son, who loves guitars, loves to play the guitar. He's teaching himself, so it's not like he's really good yet, but he's getting there. I think it's a fun thing. I tried to learn, I'm left-handed, and I remember when I was young, back in the day, I wanted to learn how to play guitar, and my brother had a guitar, and I took all the strings off and strung it like backwards to hold it left-handed. He was not a happy camper. So that was my guitar playing days. It's hard sometimes when you're left-handed. Some of the things don't work too well for you. I guess I could have learned right-handed, but it just didn't feel natural to me. Some things, as soon as you pick it up, it feels good one way or the other, because I do some things right-handed. So we've got our card done. And again, this is just, the more you use it, like the better, the easier it is. But if you just put one end in and then the other end in, it kind of works versus sliding it. And then you can slide it down. This one seems a little bit tough. But again, yeah, the more you use it, the better it is. So aren't they cute though? I think this is a great look. Just a fun card. So give it a try. If you have any questions, you can email me, patty@pspapercrafts.com. My blog is pspapercrafts. And Celebration is almost over. So there were new products added to Celebration. So it ends the end of February, and you can get free product for every 50 or 100 US dollars that you spend. So if you want anything, go ahead and get it now to get the freebies. All right? You guys have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.